I recently read 10x is Easier Than 2x by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. And this book is so powerful to me. When you get a really good book, it has you reflect and has you think back, and it gives you this new purpose and lens to look at things through. And it's given me such a healthy perspective on how to look back at my past success and really rewrite the future to make myself even more successful and focus on what my true strengths are. One of my favorite things is mental time travel. Now, I got this from another book called Chatter by Ethan Kross, and I think what's in 10x is easier than 2x that really takes it to the next level is this gap in the game mentality. And it talks about how we often look at the horizon and we never arrive there. And when we're setting goals, we're usually setting them against the horizon. This can set us up for failure. And in the game, it has us really look back at what have we done in the past, and what are these small things that we've done that have actually created the most impactful results for us? And it makes us say, hey, what if we double down on those things? Instead of doing more of everything, we do more of the one thing that matters the most. So as I'm reading this and I'm digging back into our business, it really brings me back to 2017. And 2017 was one of the hardest years that I went through that set up for a really difficult 2018 and then kind of a rebirth in 2019. Now in 2017, I became a dad. I had Locke, I became a father. This is one of the best moments of my life. But as anyone who's ever become a parent knows, you think you got everything dialed in, and then when parenthood comes into the equation, you realize how difficult it can be, how hard it can be to manage time, how you're overcommitted, and maybe how you haven't even prioritized your family the way that you say you have. For me, that was the case. You know, back in 2017, we were still doing weddings, we were doing mostly music videos, and we hadn't really tapped into the corporate and commercial space. So we're doing a little bit of time travel before Myelin was really ever a thing. So at that point in time, we had 30 plus weddings we were doing, and we had 20 plus music videos we were doing. Previous to becoming a father, I really prided myself on grinding hard, on working as hard as I could. And I really saw myself as someone who could outwork the competition. I found out very quickly that I was overcommitted. And what ended up ultimately happening was my communication was so poor. I was giving the bare minimum. I was scraping by. I was becoming incredibly anxious and nervous every single time a client would reach out to me. And 2017 really hurt. I had this beautiful moment of becoming a father. But I also let so many of my projects and so many of my relationships slip to the side. I really used to love my work, and I started to resent it very deeply in 2017. We were just dropping the ball left and right. We were doing great quality work. Our videos still looked amazing. All those things were still there. But in the midst of all this, I wasn't, there for my team. We were double booking all the time. We were biting off more than we could, and I wasn't being a good leader. In terms of our clients, I wasn't communicating well. I had so many different emails and text message exchanges that were just burning me out and really making me question doing all the work. And truthfully, it's on me. I have to take ownership. Like, my team all wanted to be done with weddings. And this was kind of how we were making money at this point in time. Music videos were the playground. We were having a lot of fun, and we were just trying to prove ourselves. I really believed if we can do higher quality work, if we can do better work, I was just so focused on what we did and how we did it that I really lost sight of why I was doing the work that I was doing. And 2017 humbled me. It taught me, how bad I could run a business, how I didn't have business skills, how I wasn't being a business person. I was just being creative, being passionate, saying yes to everything. And every time you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So I had these goals, and I had this vision of building this business starting out. And then shake things up, and I love fatherhood. I love being a dad. And I'm just feeling like I'm overcommitted. I'm letting my wife down. I'm not being a good father. I'm never present. I'm not spending any time with family or friends outside of work. And there was just all this pressure that was compounding down on me. Now, this led into the tail end of 2017, me really saying like, boy, I'm not making any money. I'm so stressed out. We're not doing a good job with our business. Maybe in 2018, we don't do as much work. Ultimately, in 2018, I took 8 months of the year off from building my business and mostly freelanced. And that's a whole story in itself. But the freelancing that I did is the first time I actually made a decent living as a creative, which should have made me happy. I thought that was a huge thing that I wanted. And truthfully, I was miserable because I felt like, wow, I'm really not living my purpose. I'm only using 5% of my potential. Now in 2018, what was nice about doing the freelancing was I had to say no. more than ever. It was the first time that I felt like I had priorities and I had boundaries. Part of it was taking a job that needed me there 4 to 5 times a week. I just had less available time, and every time I would say yes to another project, it meant that I wasn't getting to spend time with my family on the weekends. I wasn't getting to be the father that I wanted to be. And, who I wanted to become in 2018 was a quality person. It really led me to say, I want to do quality work. I want to give my best in anything that I can, and I want to provide for my family first and foremost. So with all of this, what's really cool is we went from 30 weddings in 2017 to doing 6 weddings in 2018. And, in 2017, the weddings that we were doing ranged from $2,000 to $7,000. Every wedding we did in 2018, I did for no less than $5,000. And every one of those clients, I took the vetting process significantly more serious. I let them know how bad I didn't like weddings in the past and how I only wanted to work with people that really trusted my vision, trusted me, and I wanted to do as little as possible. I actually set a cap of 8 weddings max. So there was exclusivity in this. I know so often you hear limiting your services and supply and demand as a sales tactic. For me, I was using it to make sure I wasn't going to burn myself out, because the previous years we kept building from 1 wedding to 2 weddings to 7 weddings to 14 weddings to 37 weddings. And in 2017, we did 31 weddings. So I realized 30 was just too much. I didn't want any more than 8. So I set a limit on that, and it allowed me to get more clear on, we're going to do weddings for people who value us, who value our style of storytelling, and that trust us as people more than just as creatives. We made our vetting process significantly more intense. With music videos, this was the thing that we wanted to double down on. And while in 2017, we did 20 projects, we were really only in the $500 to $7,000 range on those. In 2018, we still did nearly as many, but we were, again, taking that vetting process more serious, only working with people who really wanted to work with us. And we got our first $10,000 project, and we got consistently a handful of those, but kind of leading with what we really wanted. When you have less time, when you're taking more time off, it makes you more careful in the things that you say yes to. In 2018, it was kind of a big experiment year. It really made me think about, why is it that I started doing this? And the mission was to serve artists, to make their ideas possible, to give them as much ammunition in terms of content for marketing, not just making music videos. And truthfully, we lost our way a bit. Leading up to 2018, we were trying to make the most high quality work possible. And we were thinking about cinematography. We were thinking about acting. We were thinking about the production elements. We made some really high quality work. We took a big swing on a project that did pay off in a big way. But the thing that we really learned was, what are the key things that we were doing really well? And this is where the 10x is easier than 2x mentality really comes in. When I'm looking back on those years, 2017, I'm realizing it's really bad. 2018, I limit my time and it makes me reflect more on these projects. And 2018 is the year we come back. It's the rebirth year, and we're coming back with purpose, with passion, with a lot of intention. And the main thing that we land on is we're going to serve great experiences. I asked my clients so many questions about why they liked working with me. And the consistent thing that kept coming up was there's this passion that when a certain part in the day hits, you're just lit up, you're excited, and you're sharing and you're teaching and you're inspiring everyone. And I thought, okay, our differentiator isn't high quality video. I can't really compete against that. This is looking at the horizon. I have so many competitors that absolutely crush me that I compare myself to in such a negative way. But the thing that I think I can actually do better than anything else stems all the way back from 2011. It was that I am passionate, I care, and I'm always innovating and trying to make the experience as good as possible. Whether that be getting the days more efficient, whether that be communicating the idea, getting more people to show up, getting more of the vision out there as simply as possible. What I really doubled down on in 2018 leading into 2019 is that experience piece. It's making the vetting process even better. It's learning to communicate my value better, learning to express hey, I'm not trying to sell you a video. I actually just want to find the right project that makes the most sense for you right now. We started pitching in threes. We started coming up with more creative ways to pay things off through payment plans. Ultimately, all of it was to benefit our client. How do we make it easy to work with us? How do we make it easy for us to help you? How do we become more of a partner and a creative collaborator than just someone who provides a service for you? And while I think that we did this sometimes, we weren't doing it every time. So it made us more intentional about every decision. It made us get hyper-focused on what good experience looked like. And it allowed us to create this consistent thing time and time again. When I'm sitting here in 2024, I'm kind of looking to the horizon again. And I'm trying to actually look back at the past. I'm trying to say, the things that we've done that have made a huge difference, that allowed us to make big leaps forward, has always been in quality communication and learning new things and being more curious, getting more clear on what our mission is, getting clear on our core values, bringing the right people to the equation. Coming back to 2017, I think one of the biggest heartbreaks was seeing so much of my crew lose faith in me. I lost so many of the old guard, of the people that I used to love crafting projects with, and rightfully so, because I wasn't being a good leader. I was stressed. I wasn't letting anyone in. Oftentimes, I was just so burnt out and so exhausted, I couldn't give anyone anything because my tank was empty. So I'm trying more now than ever to be intentional. How can I take care of myself better from a health standpoint, from a fitness standpoint, from a mental standpoint? How do I keep myself excited about building this business? Because every phase, every season is a little bit different. In 2019, this is when we started to really do our best work. We did less work than ever before, but we were able to charge more of a premium because we were really building a relationship with our clients. We were really showing the excitement and encouragement and enthusiasm that these projects deserve. And I became obsessed with, I want clients who love working with us as much as we love working with them. So taking that vetting process more serious, enhancing the communication. For a long time, our proposals were really inconsistent in terms of the tools that we use. We were designing them in Word, we were designing them in Photoshop, we were designing them in Keynote, and just trying to make them look cooler. And ultimately I was like, okay, what is it that communicates our value? And so often it's me. So how do we showcase who we are as a company as early on as possible? How do we use video as a tool? How do we let people meet us before we meet them? Because so often our clients would say, oh, once working with you, it's awesome, and we love to work with you time and time again. So I thought, we need to produce content that's not just our final projects. We need to put our hearts out there. We need to put who we are out there more. We used to do BTS videos, but it was really spontaneous. Instead, I was like, we need to put that out more often, and it needs to be us. It needs to be really, really centered in who we were. Additionally, I took more time to speak to the camera and to share who I am, my thoughts, feelings, my passion, my viewpoints on the music industry. And so many of those small pieces of content weren't gaining virality, but they were getting people who were coming to us saying, I like your thought process on this. I feel like I know you already. Coming back to today and thinking about, hey, we've made a lot of ground from being the $500 music video people to, charging all the way up to $40,000 for a music video. And this isn't bragging, but it's being able to look back and say, who were we when we were the $500 people, to becoming the 40,000 plus and above music video people. When I think about that, it has never been just the quality of work that we've done. I think it's really been on the passion. I think it's been on getting better as a communicator. I think it's been learning. I am devouring podcasts and books and resources, not because I just like to learn and hoard that information, but I learn it to teach. And every time I learn something new, I'm able to give that to my next client. I truly do believe now more than ever is the best time to hire me is now, because I'm only going to be getting better and better and better. And the cost of those services are only going to go up, because one day, who knows if someone ever writes me a $400,000 check. But I'm going to continue to do that work in the hopes of becoming that kind of valuable person. Now, it's not about the money, but it is about how can I bring that level of value? How can I 10x someone else's value, 2x someone's value, 5x someone's value? I want to make sure people are getting a return. It is really on the relationships that we develop, the ways that we equip people to be more successful, and the way we believe in those projects and help people get to that next level. All I know is in 2024 and every year onward, I'm trying to become better. I'm trying to become the best version of myself. I'm challenging myself because every time I do, it keeps me passionate and excited about this career. So when I think about 10x being easier than 2x, this isn't about putting in 10 times the amount of work. It's about putting in that work into the right areas that are going to deliver the most value to my clients, to myself, to my family, to my community. That's what's driving me. I'm trying to think about what is quality. Who is Josh? What is Josh uniquely great at? And how am I going to continue to keep this passion going for myself?